Gum, gum, more gum, extremely gum, even more gum, tasty gum, weird gum, all gum.
What you gonna do? Where you at? Who you with? You ain't really about this. Don't talk about it. Really on the move, on the map, never slip. Keep your hands to your lips.
So yeah, gum can be dangerous. People are probably saying, oh my gosh, why is that, Adam? Well, for generations upon generations, gum has been something that many people have made, and actually people made from trees. But on top of that, a lot of people just love their extra gum, spearmint, and they do anything to get it. Especially spending, a lot of money on gum. Because what you don't expect is for me to say on this video that a lot of people are paying extremely amounts of money to get a slice of gum. It's $100 for one piece of gum for a limited edition that came out in 2010. That's not even edible, and that's food poison in the making. But it's good for your teeth and health. That's a very good thing because it is actually good for your teeth and health. But there comes different stipulations that you need to put down when it comes to gum. But it is still dangerous. Even if it does help you out, it's still very dangerous, even if it can clean your teeth. Now, we've all had thoughts about eating a piece of gum. I mean, not like chew it, like actually eating it how we do food, swallowing it. Now, we probably have always done that before, but you'd be kind of shocked to find out that swallowing gum can actually cause significant amount of damage to your body and digestive system over many reasons that we're going to be going over this video. But if that hadn't stopped you probably, and it never did because of social media, you pop it in your mouth, and then imagine that's your intestines, and you start to wonder why you feel pain. That's because of your amino acids. Amino acids is something that breaks down food. Now let's get to it. So when you're eating, you have to have something that breaks down all the food that you're eating. So after you're done with a whole course meal that puts your grandma to sleep for a couple hours, you start to realize that where does the food go? Amino acids break that down. It can either break that down into fat or poop. Now again, breaks down your food that you eat, but that's not the case with gum. It can't digest gum for many reasons out there because gum is something that isn't edible. You can still chew it, just not eat it because it could cause a bezoar. Now, a bezoar is a very serious thing that can actually cause stomach issues, and I mean stomach issues. Anything to do with your digestive system will be affected. It's a ball of swallowed foreign material. Now, yes, even swallowing your own hair, biting your hair and swallowing it, that's another thing that can cause it. Bezoar can cause poop to be blocked in your intestines, because leading to big major problems. So gum can lead to poop issues as well. Now, stage 2 of having a blockage is heavy blockage. Because again, when you swallow gum, it blocks your intestines up, which then blocks you be able to poop. Now, your intestines can actually often hold up to 8 to 25 pounds of fecal matter without it blowing up into smithereens. Now, you're not going to actually blow up, but your intestines can rupture. Now, gum swallowed equals bezoar equals no gas or poop at all, which is very serious. If you start to notice you can't poop or even have gas, that's really bad. Foods that cause this as vegetables and fruits are most often, and also it's rarely, so bezoar larger than 3/4 of an inch is actually rarely to be able to be passed out of your stomach. This could cause a bezoar effect if you swallow even any type of gum. It could be sugar-free, it could also be from a genie, and you still could get sick from this because gum, once again, is super dangerous. Now, it could also cause nausea and vomiting and pain when it comes to coming down with this big bezoar thing that we're talking about. It's a very serious thing that needs to be taken serious, or else it will cost you your entire future and life. So, it could cause cramps, bloating, loss of appetite, nausea, and vomiting. So, that's going to be known as an intestinal obstruction. Bezoar is kind of like that, but then it can actually cause what's actually known as an intestinal obstruction. In its own way, it's kind of that, but this is what it really could cause. So, complications can include ulceration, bleeding, bowel obstruction, and or perforation. Perforation is another complication of which bowel obstruction will take place with. If you don't treat your bowel obstruction, it could actually cause perforation, which is a complete rupture of your intestines. Now, gastric bezoars are often cause ulcerative lesions in the stomach and subcontinent bleeding, whereas small intestinal bezoars present with smaller bowel obstructions and illnesses. So yeah, now I don't know what that word was, I don't know what they meant, but black or tarry stool, or red and maroon blood mixed with your stool, red blood in your vomit that looks like coffee grounds, sudden sharp or severe abdominal pain that doesn't go away, feeling dizzy or fainting, a rapid pulse, or other symptoms of shock. Another one that you need to look out for is the color of your poop. Healthy is going to be brown to other colors, but unhealthy is black, red, white, and gray. Now, a gastral condition which is digestive material is prevented from passing normally through the bowel. It can be caused by fibrosis tissues that compress the gut, which could develop many years after the abdominal surgery. It could also be caused by certain medications. So pain will be in the abdomen. It can occur while defecating, bloating, constipation, nausea, and vomiting, including abdominal guarding. Abdominal guarding is when someone presses on your stomach and you feel so sensitive that you start moving in a weird way. Like you have a... Yeah, you get it. So this is what ulceration looks like. It could kind of lead to many bleeding in your stomach, and ulceration is kind of like an ulcer, and it can lead to many spots in your body or in your intestines being severely damaged or cut. Now, another thing you need to look out for is going to be this. This is known as hemorrhage. You can also have a hemorrhage if your intestines have ulceration, because the ulceration can cause significant amount of bleeding and amount of time. Depending on how bad the ulceration is, it could be little to no bleeding up to severe bleeding, which could kill you in just a couple minutes. But again, you actually may chew gum even after knowing all this again. But you'd be kind of weird to find out that you can actually choke on this, leading to aspiration, or you can actually choke and die. That's true. You can actually choke on a piece of gum. You can die from swallowing it. Not just having that, but it's a sticky substance which gets stuck to your esophagus, which could actually go down into your lungs and suffocate you. See, gum is a sticky substance, so that's why whenever you chew it, you don't want to swallow it because it could get stuck in your throat, and you may eventually start to choke on a piece of gum. Or even get a principal mad because you got it on his desk.
You shut up when I'm talking to you! You shut your mouth!
Now, gum is a sticky substance that oozes out of a tree or another plant, and chewing gum is the stuff you blow bubbles with or under your desk. So that blowing is another thing that causes stickiness. The body is made up of itself. It's called the gum base. Preservatives, flavors, and sweeteners. The human body cannot digest the gum base, but swallowed gum does not stain the intestinal or cause intestinal problems. But that's not always true. An intestinal condition in which digestive material, we already talked about this, I feel like, may include severe abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and inability to pass stool or gas. Treatments include avoiding solid foods, using pain and nausea medications. So surgeries are often going to be above average cost of $114,000 and $114,175, or even a small one is $6,709. Now, bowel obstruction surgery is a major procedure because it's considered a life or death situation. But again, the pros often outweigh the cons for many people. However, the cause of the obstruction is considered alongside a patient's age or overall health. So a person's overall health and age can actually consider what they're going to say it could be caused by. Now, this does require bowel obstruction surgery, tend to have a relatively high chance of death or complications, either during surgery or shortly after. About 5 to 30% of people with small intestinal obstructions die within 30 days, according to a 2022 study. 30% of the people with this, even if it goes well, could possibly have a death sentence immediately 30 days afterwards, which is a very bad sign. That gum that's so good that people love could lead to all these problems. Also known as a gastrointestinal rupture is a hole in the wall of the gastrointestinal tract. The gastrointestinal tract is composed of hollow digestive organs leading from the mouth to the anus. If you have a gastrointestinal or bowel perforation, you may experience abdominal pain or cramping, which is usually severe. So not just random pain, it's going to be severe pain, possibly the worst pain of your life when it comes to stomach issues. Bloating or a swollen abdomen, fever or chills. Now a cause is going to be as simple as this. Defined as a loss of continuity of the bowel wall. It's a potentially devastating complication that may result from a variety of disease processes. Common cause of perforation include trauma, inflammation, infection, malignancy, ischemia, and obstruction. Now, filling. Symptoms share on pinched wrist, severe abdominal pain and tenderness are symptoms of gastrointestinal perforation. The primary symptoms of gastrointestinal perforation are severe abdominal pain and tenderness. So these are all of the fillings that you're going to feel with severe pain because you can't go to the bathroom. I mean, how bad is that? How is gastrointestinal perforation diagnosed? To diagnose GP, a doctor will typically take x-rays of your chest or abdomen to check for air in the abdominal cavity, that of which could show if there's a pus, abscess, or even fluid in the stomach that they need to take a look at. They may also perform a CT scan. Treatment of a patient is establishing intravenous access and enteral hemodynamic management. Treatment often involves emergency surgery to repair the hole. Sometimes a small part of the intestine must be removed. So a part of your intestines might actually have to be removed in order to treat this carefully. So it could actually, without proper treatment, you will lead to internal bleeding and significant blood loss. If your GI tract is perforated, the contents can spill into your abdomen, causing peritonitis and infection. It can lead to sepsis. Perforation and subsequent leakage of intestinal contents can lead to peritonitis and eventually sepsis if left untreated. That's right, it can lead to sepsis. Who would have thought that gum leading to an infection can lead to sepsis? I mean, it's obvious, pretty weird. But the leakage bowel contents can lead to an infection and inflammation. It also can cause abscess or pus-filled space to form in your abdomen. The reason is, if your intestines rupture and you have poop in there, the poop will actually go into your stomach area where all the blood is and the bloodstream. It can lead to poop in your bloodstream. It's actually true. Complications include pain, constipation, loss of appetite, inability to keep food or fluids down, fever, infection, tear, perforation of the intestine, and including death, which is very rare at times because, again, if you have the symptoms that they're describing, you're going to obviously get care for it because the pain will be too bad. Now, germs and infection, again, this is going to be how that leads to sepsis. When you have germs or an infection, it's a very simple thing that you need to treat that immediately because, again, your body is going to be prone to an infection if it's already in bad shape as it is, such as with chemotherapy and much more. So having germs and an infection to go into a body part that's already pretty much bad is going to be really bad, which is why we're talking about this. When you have a ruptured intestine, it's already out there in your bloodstream. The poop and everything is now inside where your blood is usually stored and is usually doing its business that it was made to do. But if it ruptures, that's not exactly how it goes. When a ruptured intestine does occur, all of that goes the exact opposite way. An affected area will look like this. Basically, your intestines will be affected because all the poop in there is basically ruptured and all the poop has spread to basically the outer part of where it's supposed to be. But here, this is any type. Literally any bowel infection could look like this, where an infection or germs are affecting that area. Now, that all could either lead to a brain infection, again, any infection, no matter where it's at in your body, if it's even out of your body, like a arm infection or whatever, any of those can lead to a brain infection or possible sepsis because all of that has a chance of being exactly that. Because, again, those are two complications that people need to look out for. Now, basically, if it does look like this, like we talked about, the green part would be the infection that I drew on here. That is what you can look out for a bowel infection. You can see the green would be all the poop and all the germs affecting the the bowel because it's already out there. So it can lead to sepsis. Like we said before, you will have low blood pressure, chills, dizziness, fatigue, fever, flushing, low body temperature, shivering, altered level of consciousness or mental confusion, fast breathing or shortness of breath, delirium, fast heart rate, insignificant urine production, and organ dysfunction, color distortion, and sleeplessness, mechanical ventilation, hospitalization, fluid replacement, and IV fluids. Medication, we have vasoconstrictor, antibiotics, blood pressure support, and steroid. Devices, central venous catheter. All of these can actually combat sepsis. It could get you back to your normal self, possibly. Sepsis is usually caused by bacterial infection, which should be known as that poop, but may be the result of other infections such as viruses, parasites, or fungi. Its treatment requires medical care, including the use of antimicrobials, intravenous fluids, and other measures. Someone in the United States is diagnosed with sepsis every 20 seconds. The risk of dying from sepsis increased by as much as 8% for every hour of delayed treatment. On average, approximately 30% of patients diagnosed with severe sepsis do not survive. Thanks for watching. Hope you all had a fun laugh and learned something new. And make sure everyone, see you in the next video. Remember to stay researching. Peace.